There's been a lot of platform changes and evolution for the client needs in my 20 plus years of being in IT. I think I would sum that up with a single word that's just experience. The phrase for the longest time was all around the user experience, the UX and the UI. That concept has been around for a long time, but what's happening now is there is a very tangible change that's taking place around the word experience to being much more around the employee's experience and customers' experience, and it's making it much more human. Thinking about how are humans interacting with this awesome technology instead of just thinking about, well, how does it look on the screen? Well, how do they feel while they're using it? And is it giving them the responses that they're expecting? A lot of it actually recently has been driven by the pandemic and the fact that organizations were very used to being able to have face-to-face interactions and needing to still get the same business done without having that face-to-face human interaction. It's really been driven here in the last 12 months more than it had in the last 20 years on the need to change the way we think about the experience. One of the things that I think about with that, of like a funny story in my career as an IT asset manager, was we had a system that they were generally fine. The user interface was usable. It was practical. One of my jobs at the time was to build reports, and there was no native reporting capabilities. So I had to develop something, and I put together something using Microsoft Access. But the thing that made it difficult from an employee's experience and how I did work was everything was in German, and I didn't speak German, but all the table names, all the field names were in German, and I had to learn how to build out translations so that I could generate reports. I don't remember any of the German that I learned, but I do remember the experience as an international tool, a globalized tool that there was no capabilities to speak in the language that I was used to. Because of the pandemic, the shift to everyone being remote really made some things shift in priority. The HR team has a larger voice than they've ever had probably in the history of enterprises in making sure that the employees have what they need to be able to do their work. So we've seen a tremendous shift in focus on the employee experience, accelerating anything that might have been on their timeline or maybe moved it onto their roadmap for the very first time. I'd say within the last 3 or 4 months, as businesses are starting to reopen and the confidence is returning to enterprises of what they wanted to do, a tremendous hunger to take on a lot of things. So one of my observations is to make sure that everyone has got the right pace in terms of what their teams can handle, as well as what their partners can handle alongside them.